my dear students, how are you? Are you happy meeting me? Because I'm super pooper happy to meet you. So we continue traveling, by the way, and we continue exploring the last unit of our book. And today's lesson is lesson number 5, Traveling into History. So we traveled through Moldova, we traveled around the world, and now we have the possibility to travel into history. Before doing this, I wanted to look at your screens and let us identify which of the following leisure activities below you enjoy most of all. Justify your choice. So, the leisure activities are those activities that you do in your free time. And the next activities are going around a museum or an art gallery, watching television, going to the adventure park, picnicking or mountain biking, snowboarding, windsurfing, canoeing, visiting a health club, caving, sailing. So you have to choose from these few that you like, or you can choose all of them if you are adventurous. But for me, for example, if I were to choose one, this will be picnicking and mountain biking. First, I like picnicking because you can gather with your family, with your friends, and have a nice chat or a nice talk. Also, mountain biking because I want to learn to ride a bike. I hope that you have many leisure activities that are not in this list, but are among your most favorite. So let us continue with this activity, but first tell me please, what is the difference between leisure time or leisure activities, spare time, and free time? Speaking in English, you can use all of them and you will have a point, and you will understand that you speak about something that happens beside your work or beside your school or other things. But let us see what the dictionary suggests us to understand by each expression. The first expression, spare time. Spare time tends to be used particularly with reference to evenings and weekends. When we are thinking of hobbies, going to the theater and so on, we more often use the expression spare time. So, if you are asked, what are you doing in your spare time? It means, what are you doing in the evenings or at the weekends? And usually we can say that we can go to the cinema, we can watch a movie, maybe you have as a hobby sports and you can practice sport, so it depends. Free time. Free time often implies free from work, classes, at whatever time, including during the day. For example, have you got any free time tomorrow? In case if you can help me, yes? Or do you have free time to listen to my speech once again and so on? So this is about a part of your time that implies free from work and from your classes and so on. Leisure time. Leisure time has the same meaning as spare time, but it is more formal. It is the time you have left after work, school, sleep, and household jobs, such as cooking, washing, and cleaning. So, everything that you do. So you go to work, you go to studies, go to school, and you have other extracurricular activities, and that amount of time that is left outside of all these activities, this means leisure time. The time when you can just relax, you can read a book, or you can do something that you like. If everything is clear, let us apply this source of information, this piece of information, for the next situation. Imagine that Doina and Catalina are the 9th form students. They are very good friends and spend much time together. They won the first and the second places, respectively, at the Republican contest in drawing. They were awarded a trip to Great Britain. The girls have decided to take every opportunity to see as many things there as possible. Question: what art galleries would you recommend that Doina and Catalina should visit in London? So, if you know any galleries you can recommend, but if you don't remember any, we have the chance to find out some of the most famous galleries in London. First, look please at the screen and follow together with me by reading this piece of information. So, if you are ready, let us read. London is one of the biggest cities in the world, and it is an important industrial, commercial, and cultural center. The biggest problem for any visitor is simply where to start. There is so much to see and do. From Trafalgar Square and Nelson's Column, it's a short walk to the National Gallery, a treasure house of paintings from every period and genre. Founded in 1824, it houses a collection of over 2,300 paintings dating from the mid-13th century to 1900. It is the fourth most visited art museum in the world, after the Musée du Louvre, the British Museum, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. You can also visit the National Portrait Gallery in London, where you can find portraits of notable people from the Middle Ages to the present time. It was the first portrait gallery in the world when it opened in 1856. On the south bank of the Thames, next to the Royal Festival Hall, the Hayward Gallery is situated. The Hayward hosts four major temporary modern or contemporary exhibitions each year and does not house any permanent collections. It was built by Higgs and Hill and opened on 9th of July 1986. So now you know that in London the most famous galleries are these three galleries: National Gallery, National Portrait Gallery, and Hayward Gallery. So now we are ready to recommend Doina and Catalina to visit these three galleries because they will have an opportunity to see beautiful things that is connected with their field of activity. So they like drawing and they can see a lot of things that could inspire them to become one of the greatest painters and so on. Now let's talk. First, what is the quickest way to get to the National Gallery from Trafalgar Square and Nelson's Column? So, according to the text, the quickest way is right, is just a short walk. Good. What can you see at the National Portrait Gallery? So, according to the text, you can also visit the National Portrait Gallery in London, where you can find portraits of notable people from the Middle Ages to the present times. And the last question, when was the Hayward Gallery opened? According to the text, it was built by Higgs and Hill and opened on 9th of July 1986. So you did a great job today, and as a reward, I have for you a reflection task. So what you have to do? Wrapping up our today's lesson, what comment would you bring to the quotation? Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Theodore Merton. So, while you are reflecting about what we discussed today, please come up with a comment about this quotation. It was a pleasure meeting you again. Have a nice day and see you for the next lesson. And don't forget, stay home and learn English. Bye-bye.